means, quote, a scattering or sowing of seeds. And the modern meaning of diaspora is the dispersal of people from their homeland. And that dispersal is the reality of our country, Canada. I mean, look at me. My father is a Russian immigrant from Russia. He's thrown out of his country, comes to Canada with nothing, climbs up the ladder just the way you've done. This is the reality that we've all lived in this country. We're all members of diaspora communities. And it's very fitting that the Jamaican community has founded a foundation to celebrate the roots of the Jamaican diaspora. As you know, those roots go back to 1796 with the arrival in Nova Scotia of 600 Maroons. Yeah. You know about the Maroons? Yeah. These were people who had refused to be slaves in Jamaica, and they refused to be slaves in Canada. And today, the Maroon Bastion and the Citadel in Nova Scotia is a tribute to that legacy of freedom. And that legacy of freedom is part of your legacy, and it's now part of the Canadian legacy. And I want to celebrate that with you. I know that coming to Canada has been tough for many of you, and you've succeeded despite many obstacles. And I want to celebrate some achievements, not just in culture and sports and music, but your achievements in politics. I think of people like Lincoln Alexander. I think of Rosemary Brown. I think of Alvin Curling. I think of Margaret Best, who serves in this great McGuinty government in Toronto. And I think obviously of other great leaders. The Parliament of Canada ought to reflect the full diversity of our great country. And I know, I'll be honest with you, it does not. It does not fully reflect the diversity. I want to work with you so that when you look at your parliament, you think, I am represented there, and all Canadians are represented. So we need to work together on that. Let me also celebrate some other great Jamaican Canadians, Judge Stanley Grizzle, Dr. Glenda Sims, Dudley Laws, and that amazing woman, Louise Bennett Coverley. Miss Lou, Jamaica's First Lady of Comedy. When I came in here this morning, I went into what they call, if you're in my business, a holding room. It's in the back here, it's just down the hall, and they put the politician in the holding room to calm him down, you know. So I was in there getting myself calmed down. And what do I see in the corner but a wonderful bronze statue to a great Canadian, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Jamaican Canadians remember him with affection because he understood earlier than almost any political leader that we have to create a multicultural Canada in which all Canadians are equal. And he stood for that, and you voted for us very largely because you saw in his vision of Canada, you saw your place, a place of equality and pride, and that's why there's that statue in that back room. And I'm darn proud to be in that tradition. Because it's not just multiculturalism, it's the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which gives us all that ground on which we stand, that ground of equality, that ground of equality of respect. So everybody in this room looks at every other person in the room and says, I'm no better than you, I'm no worse with you, and I'm an equal. That is the core meaning of Canada to me, and that is the Liberal Party of Canada. So we're proud of that. We're proud of that, but we're not resting on our laurels. We've got a lot of other things that we can be proud of. We're proud of the fact that we contributed to the Caribbean Development Bank, and when we were in office, we saw an upsurge of good Jamaican Canadian trade and investment. Now, Mr. Harper went to Jamaica on the 15th of April, and that was a very good thing. I'm partisan, but I'm not crazy. It was good to have the Canadian Prime Minister to go to Jamaica. But he claimed that he was the first Canadian Prime Minister to go to Jamaica. And with all due respect, that came as a bit of a surprise to Mr. Jean Chrétien, who'd been there 8 years before. I want to do anything I can to favor those links, but let's remember the record here. Whatever our politics, we should be proud of what we've achieved together, and I want to work with you. One of the things that I want to, and I'm going to come to a conclusion so we can get to questions, is that we've got work to do together. I don't want to slide over some of the painful and difficult subjects that you deal with. I think that I love my country because we have created a home of equality for all Canadians, but there's still